2010, it was known as Apartment 117, which was a project spearheaded by Powerhouse Animation alongside 343 Industries. After the trailer and first episode were released, 343 Industries removed the episode and canceled the project. The first episode is totally viewable in a re-upload on YouTube, and it follows two roommates, one of whom is obsessed with Halo, as they take a trip to get groceries.
I can't trust you to do anything. Every time I ask you to do something, you screw it up. Remember when you were supposed to pick up my car? You completely destroyed it.
I didn't destroy it. I made it better.
You turned it into one of those groundhog things.
It's a warthog. I was trying to help you. What are you gonna do in the Covenant land?
Alright, I'm going to the grocery store, and you're coming with me.
I recommend you watch it yourself. This is also likely the only video of it up on YouTube, and from what I've found, 343 is trying to avoid talking about it and would rather see it forgotten. It's certainly a bizarre and somewhat cringy animated short, and I think we're lucky to have witnessed it here. Halo 2 Vista Map Editor. In the Halo 2 PC port, also known as Halo 2 Vista, as Windows Vista was the current iteration of Windows around 2004, every copy of Halo 2 Vista came packaged with a map editor. This pre-Halo 3 Forge tool allowed modders to create custom maps and mods for Halo 2, up until the release of Halo Master Chief Collection on PC. The Halo modding community on PC relied on this and Halo Custom Edition's map tools for the longest time, including Gorilla, Sapien, and more, for years. Thankfully, Master Chief Collection has received mod tools along with a full release on Steam. Pistol Kanji. On the magnums in Halo CE and 3, Japanese, Chinese, and Korean characters are etched into parts of these pistols. They translate to either the number 7 or the word strength or power. This alludes to the fact that the Magnum is a very devastating weapon, at least in Halo Combat Evolved. Crazy Marine and ODST. One of the wounded Marines at the Uplift Reserve, which is pretty much a zoo of sorts, gets lost in their crackpot theory about the food chain and how the zoo they're in isn't so different from their own reality.
No! You're not listening. It's a zoo, okay?
Well, technically it's a corporate-funded wildlife reserve.
Semantics! This whole place is one big cage!
Listen, Marine, you're wounded. You gotta try and relax.
Except we're the zebras, get it? All fenced in and ready to slaughter.
And then?
They're the lions!
Battle Rifle Plasma Rifle. This is really obscure. In a Halo 2 cutscene before the start of the mission, Sacred Icon, as Tartarus's Phantom blasts the Sentinel Enforcer, if you manage to break your camera free, you would be able to see that the Phantom turret is actually a combined Battle Rifle Plasma Rifle hybrid, or BRPR if you will. The Battle Rifle is actually not a functioning rifle, but an object that is strangely holding the Plasma Rifle according to Halo 2's game logic. Otherwise, the Plasma Rifle would fall. This duct tape popsicle stick type nonsense right here is hilarious, and you can actually wield and fire this weapon through modding as well. Halo 4 Drones. Several NPCs were cut from Halo 4, one of which were the drones, which haven't been seen since Halo Reach. There is a lot of concept art of this cut enemy, but unfortunately, they never made it to the game. Killer Moa. Left over in the game files of Halo Reach, modders have managed to dig up code that explains that MOAs may have had the ability to attack players and/or enemies. This can be seen through numerous unused combat animations, and here, General Heed combined these combat animations along with attacks, as can be seen in this video. Infinite Rockets and ODST. Once again demonstrated best by General Heed, but this time in an old video from 2009 no less. There is a hidden Easter egg of 4 rocket launchers, each with 1000 ammo, and 2 mongooses. This Easter egg only triggers on the mission Coastal Highway, with 4 players on Legendary difficulty with the Iron Skull on. Much like in Halo 3, this Easter egg was intended to assist players in achieving the Vidmaster Deja Vu achievement, but in Halo 3, 4 ghosts were given to players instead for their final run. Eric Nyland. Mr. Nyland is an American novelist who wrote 3 prominent early Halo novels. He wrote Halo: The Fall of Reach, First Strike, and Ghosts of Onyx. among many other stories and novels that contributed greatly to the Halo universe. Cut skulls. Throughout the franchise, Easter egg skulls have been cut or limited in functionality. In Halo 3, an assassin skull on the mission Cortana would be given no use and have much of its functionality cut, though it can still be found in-game. A few skulls were cut from Halo 3 ODST as well, and one was cut from Halo CE Anniversary, where gun sound effects would be replaced by 343 staff members speaking the gun noises, like bang 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 bang. But the strangest cut skull doesn't come in the form of a pickup object. There was a cut scene in Halo CE, where the Chief was supposed to burn through the proto-gravemind Captain Keyes' skull with a flamethrower to obtain the Captain's neural implants. This gruesome scene was soon cut due to the flamethrower being cut from the game as well, only to return in the PC port, Halo Custom Edition. UNSC Diver. In the Halo 5 map Fathom, submerged in an out-of-bounds pool of water is a static object of a yellow diver. This bizarre Easter egg eventually was turned into a Forge object when Forge released. Weapons card. Throughout Halo 3 ODST, the player may stumble across a bit of scrap paper that displays silhouettes of what appear to be cut Covenant weapons. It is up to your imagination what these weapons were intended to become. Halo 2 Cartographer. This entry refers to Halo 2 Project Cartographer, a fan-developed and improved version of Halo 2 Vista. Included are modded custom maps, a working infection mode, gun game, restored online servers, and much more completely free and available for download. For a time, this was the only modern port of Halo 2 available until the MCC was ported to PC. Nuclear Bomb Glitch. This entry, in my opinion, should be far lower. There is only one video on this topic that I could find, and it is completely in Spanish and serenaded by Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. This is how you know you've traveled back in time. In short, if one player removes the arms of another player in Halo 3 Forge and then throws a grenade, a bright flash akin to a nuclear bomb will occur rather than the standard explosion. Removing Spartan arms is actually a separate glitch and can be done by grabbing a weapon in Forge mode right when the other player is attempting to pick it up. Yanmei Sniper. In a previous entry I mentioned that the Covenant enemy species have proper names. In this case, the Yanmei are the actual term used for drones. If you thought Jackal snipers were bad, sleep well at night knowing we barely avoided sniper drones in Halo 4 before all drones were cut from the game. Rooster Teeth vending machines. The Rooster Teeth vending machines are something I mentioned a little earlier. On the Halo 2 map Turf, red and blue soda machines with the mascots from the Rooster Teeth logo can be found on the map as set dressing that nod to the company that produced Red vs. Blue. He was my lover. Randomly in Halo 3, upon killing a brute, a nearby brute will utter this rare dialogue. Like others, it appears this Easter egg dialogue plays more frequently whenever the I would have been your daddy skull is active. Mind Transfer. This is a lore device in Halo, wherein a sentient mind is transferred into another being or object. Examples include human brain tissue being used to create AIs in the UNSC, Forerunner composers digitizing living creatures into Promethean soldiers, and the Flood harvesting memories from assimilated beings. Marvin Mabuto is a Marine from the extended Halo universe. After the Flood was unleashed on Alpha Halo, Sergeant Mabuto became separated from his squad when the Monitor found him and teleported him to the library in an attempt to reclaim the Index. Chief was not the sole reclaimer, as Marvin was the first one. He fought through the horrors of the Flood-infested chambers of the library until the Index was in sight, but unfortunately, due to his Marine body armor, which was far too insufficient for combat against the Flood, Marvin fought until he was thrashed and torn to pieces, because he wouldn't go quietly. This is detailed in the novel Halo the Flood, where Chief finds his dog tags and identifies him towards the end of the library mission. Not only was the player not the first in the library, but he was likely just a few hours from running into this lonely Marine. Moving on to Level 4 Part 3, The Assembly. I had never heard of this part of the lore despite all of these years that have passed. And honestly, this part of the lore is kind of freaky when you dig into the implications of these events. Similar to the terminals that are spread across several of the Halo games, you can find data pads hidden throughout the campaign maps of Halo Reach. There are 19 of these pads, 10 of which can only be found while playing on Legendary difficulty, and they share a mysterious side plot going on behind the scenes. As human artificial intelligence units began proliferating starting in humanity's spacefaring age, these AIs began communicating with each other. Around the year 2310, many of these artificial intelligences formed something known as the Assembly. This collection of AIs, or minds as they call themselves, have formed a sort of governing body who, thankfully, have decided to protect humanity as their ultimate end goal, as preserving humanity ultimately preserves the created AIs. Despite these efforts, they remain clandestine, refusing to make contact with humans and instead, believing to know more than humanity due to their higher levels of intellectual prowess, secretly alter things in the galaxy by nudging humans to make discoveries on their own. The thing is, these discoveries were already calculated and decided upon by the AI and the Assembly. And the Assembly was simply trying to guide humanity down the right direction, without any human knowledge that they were even being guided somewhere. The Assembly reject the idea of luck and how it could be beneficial to humans, such as the perfectly timed introduction of Spartans, because some of these lucky events were actually coerced by the Assembly. Yes, the research and development of the Spartan super soldiers was intentionally caused by the Assembly. Additionally, one AI within the Assembly was held on trial by the others for attempting to make contact with the Covenant before the humans did, which is what many in the Assembly have pointed out as the catalyst to start the Human-Covenant War. With these key events and more, the Assembly has been silently pulling the strings to alter the Halo universe in ways unseen by the player. The datapads we find in Halo Reach were written by a human conspiracy theorist who went digging, perhaps far too deep, and upon finding the Assembly began documenting these findings. However, it took a toll on his mental health, as he went mad from paranoia, as the discovery of the Assembly and how they are altering the cosmos in mysterious ways was far too stressful for him. This Assembly later went on to assist Cortana in her evil arc when she led a war with her created faction against all other living factions in the galaxy. But after the created were defeated with the death of Cortana, this conglomeration of AIs fractured into many pieces. Blinking corpses. In Halo 2 and Halo 2 Anniversary, there is a glitch where some dead corpse's eyes will blink after being moved or shot. Flip music. In the cutscene introducing the arrival of the Flood, Marines aboard the Pelican dropship are complaining about the music playing on board as they deploy into the swamp. Private Mendoza asks, "Why do we have to listen to all this old stuff, Sarge?" Sergeant Johnson explains that this stuff is your history. Flip is the genre of music playing aboard the Pelican insertion in this scene. Canonically, flip music was popular at dance clubs during the 2520s, though it also has its haters as well. Specifically, Captain Keyes, Master Chief, and Marines Jenkins, Riley, Locklear, and Vicente all dislike it. The song playing aboard the Pelican is titled as Shreddin' and was available for download on Bungie.net at some point. It was noted by Joe Staten that the dev team originally wanted to have Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones playing aboard that Pelican instead, before an original track was created. Flood forms on Lockout Anniversary. In the containment vats at the bottom of the Halo 2 Anniversary remake of the map Lockout, there are dozens of flood forms suspended in green liquid. When I was younger, it was freaky seeing the classic Halo 2 map containment units, especially because one of them was broken open with a light flickering, as if it was one of those horror movie lab breakout scenes. Though there was no flood models within these containers in the original, which for me makes the mystery a bit freakier. However, after modding the flood forms out of the Anniversary containment units, you can find each of the flood forms have various differences, and many of them have multiple heads or other weird features. With such bizarre looking creatures, what race of being were these aliens that were infected? What did the Forerunners find infected and shove into this desolate Arctic facility? The mystery remains. Humans are Forerunners discrepancy. In the original Halo trilogy, humans are heavily implied to have been the ancient aliens known as the Forerunners who built the Halo rings. And in Halo 3, 343 Guilty Spark directly mentions to the Master Chief that he is indeed Forerunner. This was the original plan from Bungie, and in the cut Halo 2 ending, it would have been revealed that the Forerunners that the Covenant were worshipping as they annihilated humanity were actually ancient humans all along. This plot twist would have been seriously fascinating in my opinion, but for one reason or another, in Halo 4, this plot line was retconned and scrapped, and the Forerunners were turned into a different race altogether. This only serves to confuse fans and make everything said in the previous 3 Halo games make no sense whatsoever. Dead Zebra Halo 3 ODST. I don't know why this is on here, but here goes anyway. On the mission Uplift Reserve in Halo 3 ODST, you can find dead zebras that litter the battlefield in one section of the map. According to comments on this video from 2009, some don't remember seeing these in their playthrough. Possible Mandela effect? I never saw these myself, and the video itself claims this is an Easter egg, but it's so mundane though, it's just map decoration. I suppose the weirdness of this entry is that it's an obscure map decoration that most people just didn't notice. For all those who claimed that this was an Easter egg back in the day, did they forget that this is a zoo you're fighting in? Crazy. Corruptor Protocol. The Corruptor codename refers to a Spartan being infected by the Flood. The protocol requires that if Spartan failsafes malfunction, then weapons of mass destruction are authorized for use to erase this new and highly dangerous threat. Containment is maximum priority, and the immediate bombardment of the area of an infected Spartan with MAC cannons and nuclear warheads is authorized. The Prophets' names are all ironic. This is a fun lore thought experiment. Each of the Covenant Prophets meets ironic fates in Halo 2 and 3. The Prophet of Regret dies to a regretfully foolish jump to the human homeworld and hasty jump to Delta Halo, allowing the UNSC to follow him, where Johnson remarks, "We regret coming to Earth," while insulting the Prophet. Mercy dies due to not being shown mercy by Tartarus or the Prophet of Truth when he's attacked by a Flood infection form, and Truth is killed after the Covenant, which is built on the lies from the Prophets, collapses, and he is stabbed by the Arbiter, the first elite to learn the truth of the Covenant's failed religion. This was all postulated by Reddit user the High Shibe. Sangheili are fatherless. Sangheili, also known as the Elites, are not allowed to know their father, and are instead raised by a maternal uncle. This prevents them from knowing their father's past, and instead inspires them to forge their own destiny. Assassin Armor. Bazoo Studios uploaded this troll of a video in 2009, showing off a secret Halo 3 armor suit, the Assassin Armor, which is totally not made in Photoshop. It blew up back in the Halo 3 days, leading to a few parts of the community referencing this hoax of an armor suit. Grey Team were a Spartan 2 team donning all grey suits and were trained on independent decision making and thus were used in missions deep behind enemy lines without support from other UNSC elements. They operated in major engagements as a Spec Ops team throughout the Human Covenant War, and in 2560, they now operate alongside multiple Sangheili allies in joint occupation zones. Glyke. Grey Team participated in Operation Sunspear directly following the fall of Reach. Their mission objective was to eliminate as many Sangheili naval officers responsible for the glassing of human worlds as possible, as a form of revenge. During their mission, they were informed of the Covenant locating and identifying Earth, and before losing contact with UNSC Command, they were ordered to execute Condition Endgame. This order dictates the destruction of the Sangheili homeworld, Sanghelios. Cut off from the events across the galaxy, Grey Team traveled to Glyke, a Sangheili world with billions in population. Grey Team landed on the surface and detonated a Nova Bomb, a weapon that was powerful enough to destroy an entire planet. The bomb exploded on December of 2552. Only one problem. The war was already over. Peace was signed between the humans and Covenant remnants, but without contact with the human worlds, Grey Team was hell-bent on their mission as it seemed humanity had already lost when the Covenant located Earth. They had no idea that the Master Chief and their aligned elites and UNSC counterparts had defeated the Covenant on the Ark. But it was too late. The planet was completely destroyed. Nova Bomb. The Nova Bomb is what we mentioned just a second ago. It's a nuclear weapon meant to kill planets. It's constructed out of 9 high-yield nuclear warheads, which are used to compress additional lithium tritiuride fusionable material to densities required to amplify the blast so large it could destroy an entire planet. Detonated on the surface of Glyke by Grey Team, it destroyed the entire physical planet itself, crushing the rock into debris and extinguishing all life on the planet or within its atmosphere. Strange that after nuking and destroying billions of Sangheli, after the dust cleared, Grey Team joined a strike team with elites from the Swords of Sanghelios. Though this was done after a pardon by the Arbiter himself, which likely came considering that the elites torched billions of humans as well. Moa statue. 343 Industries added small golden Moa statues across various missions of the campaigns in Halo the Master Chief Collection. These were added in Season 8 of the MCC and offer a fun little Easter egg hunt for fans of the Halo series. Cameo in Super Bomberman R. Super Bomberman R was released on Xbox One in 2018, and to celebrate, the Master Chief became a playable character within the game. This is likely to be the most obscure Halo cameo in gaming. Gears of Halo Theft Auto 5.
It's nothing you've ever wanted to see! It's Gears of Halo Theft Auto 5!
What?
Gears of Halo Theft Auto 5!
That sounds cool!
I decided to add this piece of nostalgia to the iceberg. This is a classic Halo 3 machinima that pokes fun at politicians and the general discourse of mature content being allowed within video games. At the time, the headlines of the news were dominated by video games and their alleged propensity to cause violence amongst American youth, which has since been debunked completely as pseudoscience. Quite a few politicians during the mid-2000s were rallying against video games for this very reason.
You bet it is, and we've ensured nothing can be more emotionally disturbing than this game.
Cool!
This game is full of so much explicit content, it's been rated J.O.
J.O.?
Jesus only.
Secret Wasp skin. Halo Infinite. The campaign of Halo Infinite offers armor lockers to be found around the open world. Each of these lockers provides cosmetics that are unlocked for use within multiplayer. One notable unlock is the Dogfight Makovich Wasp coating, which is hidden at the very bottom of the map on a ledge and doesn't appear on the map. Many players likely missed this one as it is by far the only armor locker that doesn't have a waypoint on the map, making it very obscure and not well known.
So Vegas, so close. Gillies Gambling Hall is a better place to win. Hundreds of gaming machines, more action, more excitement, more chances to win. Because at Gillies, players win big. Step into Trackside, Wichita's one-of-a-kind horse race betting experience, unlike anything in the region. So why go to Vegas when the wins are waiting right here? Gillies Gambling Hall in Park City, Kansas. A better place to win. Find out more by visiting playgillies.com.
Now we proceed into Level 5, Part 1. HG, Halo General. I don't know why this is so low on the list, this is just the 4chan page for Halo. 7th Column. 7th Column is a symbol of Bungie's forum fan club of the same name. This symbol has since not just become an emblem within the Halo game's customization pages, but also an emblem that symbolizes Bungie itself. This icon is also called the Septagon. I've seen this emblem for years and never knew it actually had a name. The more you know, huh? Forerunner Tank. Remember that cut mission that would introduce the Gravemind in Halo 2? This is that mission. It would have the Master Chief fight through the depths of Delta Halo before encountering the Gravemind and being captured by it. A fast-moving and very powerful Forerunner tank-like vehicle was intended to be piloted by the player during this mission. When asked why add a Forerunner tank level into the game, Jason Jones simply replied, "Awesomeness would ensue." Halo for PlayStation 2. Before Microsoft slated the game to be an Xbox exclusive, it was planned that Halo CE would be launched across different platforms, including PC, Mac, and even PlayStation 2. Halo CE did end up getting launched on PC alongside the Xbox, however. Master Chief's original voice. No, this isn't a reference to the Halo TV series. In the E3 2000 trailer for Halo, the Master Chief had a rather different voice.
Recon reporting. Hostiles have been neutralized.
Say again? Over.
The drop zone is clear. I repeat, the drop zone is clear.
Understood. Lieutenant, let's get this thing moving.
Rex. Wait, didn't we already do this one? This one may be referring to the Halo 2 Sword Rex Easter egg in the mission Outskirts, which is a little less known than the Halo CE one. Bonobo. For Juneteenth, in celebration of the emancipation of African Americans in the United States, 343 Industries released a free emblem for all players to unlock for logging into Halo Infinite on this historic day in 2022. Unfortunately, the nameplate was named Bonobo in what seems to have been an accident. For those of you who don't know, Bonobo is a species of African ape. Yeah, this incited a bit of a controversy for 343. What's not so well known is the potential cause of this unfortunate coincidence. It likely was not done on purpose, but was an accident that slipped through QA. 343 inherited Bungie's Halo development tools, one of which, a tag editor, is called Bonobo. It seems that once they produced the emblem, they forgot to name it, giving it the default name of the program that produced it. What an unfortunate coincidence. Hidden Gargoyle in Halo 2. This is rather insignificant. In the Halo 2 map Backwash, at Blue Base, a gargoyle is hidden. Missing leaves in Halo 2 NVIDIA graphics. This is so obscure. Apparently, some players of Halo 2 were having issues where leaves would not render on NVIDIA graphics cards. In this post I found... Wait, it was posted 5 years ago? Why is this so recent yet before the MCC released Halo 2 on PC? Why would someone make a post on this in 2018 on Halo 2 Vista from 2004? More importantly, how does anyone know about this enough to put it on an iceberg? This is so bizarre, I'm freaking out! Macworld 1999 build. Halo Combat Evolved released as a Microsoft game in 2001. 2 years prior, it was destined for the Macintosh computer. Marcus Leto, someone who worked on Halo CE, released footage of this very, very early version of Halo in 2021. The first footage seen of the Halo franchise was from this build at the Macworld Expo, where it was introduced by Steve Jobs and presented by Jason Jones of Bungie.
We are starting to see some great games come back to the Mac, but this is one of the coolest I've ever seen. This game is going to ship early next year from Bungie, and this is the first time anybody has ever seen it. It's the first time they've debuted it. And so I'm very happy to welcome on the stage Jason Jones, who is the co-founder of Bungie and the Halo project lead. Halo is the name of this game, and we're going to see, for the first time, Halo. Welcome, Jason.
Running on a Macintosh computer, the demo played the glorious Halo theme for the first time ever, the song of which was composed in 3 days by Marty O'Donnell. Girlfriend texture. I at first couldn't find info about this entry, but after asking around on Reddit, SyncTit informed me that it was a texture on the CE map boarding action. It can be found in a hidden room on an early build of Halo CE as shown in this Rocket Sloth video, and it took 19 years for this community to solve this Easter egg. The image of this developer's girlfriend remains as a hidden shrine on this multiplayer map. QuackJag. This is a YouTuber who is a staple of the classic Halo community. QuackJag produced some of the most popular and some of the first Halo uploads from 16 years ago. And I recall a friend of mine showing my family the Halo Kitty Cat dance video way long ago, which at this point has 7.4 million views. I feel old. Much of QuackJag's content focuses on music alongside Halo modding, blue Spartan figure, and rare merchandise. This is a reference to a rare Halo 3 action figure that is going for quite a bit on Amazon and eBay. This is a very specific mention, and it makes more sense to refer to rare Halo collectibles and merchandise as a whole. As a kid, I specifically remember a Halo Mega Bloks Cyan Spartan being a limited collector's item, and it's on eBay right now for a steep price. Design Seed. This is a piece of Forerunner technology that held data similar to how blueprints work. Instead, the data stored on these design seeds could be used to construct ships very quickly with automation. For instance, the Didax ship was 1 kilometer long, and it was built using a design seed within minutes. Fusion Coil lore. The explosive objects that litter the campaigns and multiplayers across the Halo universe have lore. Fusion coils are storage containers that hold super hot plasma and radioactive materials. Hidden Xperia even made a video on these classic pieces of scenery. Never thought an explosive barrel would get deep lore like this. Halo 2 Limited Edition Disc. This is a remnant of my childhood I decided to throw on here. The Halo 2 Limited Edition disc comes with some extra video content, including behind the scenes and much more. It also includes a surround sound audio test, which has a weird place just lodged in my memory for when I was 9 or so.
Welcome to the DVD surround sound test. Speaker on that side. Speaker on that side. Speaker behind you over there.
Monkey on a Bomb. This is a reference to a decal in Halo 2 found on the map Foundation. Oni's name was taken from one of Bungie's previous games. The Office of Naval Intelligence, or ONI, of Halo lore shares its name with Bungie's 2001 third-person shooter named ONI. Bob Elites. In Halo Reach, Golden Ranger Elites with concussion rifles can be found spawning randomly throughout the campaign. Killing them would grant credits in the original Halo Reach, as some challenges focused on players hunting these guys down. They will also disappear if the player wanders too far from them. Silver Warthog. General Heed made a great video on this Halo secret. In the Halo 3 Xbox 360 menus, scenes full of characters and vehicles can be seen covered in a blue menu filter. In the Forge menu background, a Warthog is present, but if you remove the blue filter, the Warthog is not green but actually silver. We already had a gold Warthog Easter egg, and now we have a silver one too. I kinda wish this was in the game proper, as it looks pretty cool, and it kinda reminds me of the Halo Infinite Razorback. Halo DS. This is a cancelled version of Halo meant to be playable on the Nintendo DS handheld console. Unfortunately, it never came to be, and became a form of lost media until a video was released with gameplay of a Halo DS demo. Frank O'Connor and Brian Gerard of Bungie responded to the leaked gameplay, stating that the Halo DS game was never in development by any studio, but it was likely just a prototype that an employee attempted to pitch to somebody to possibly influence the creation of a real Halo DS game. It appears that the Halo DS demo is a mod of GoldenEye Rogue Agent, which is another DS game. The mod features the Halo 2 map Zanzibar, alongside dual wielding. It is possible that this may have been produced around the time of Halo 2's release, but it is unknown who made the unsolicited Halo DS demo, and it's also not known who leaked this mod to IGN. Halo 5 cart. In the Halo 5 mission Evacuation, a very obscure Easter egg was hidden. A developer ended up giving hints to the community on the details behind this Easter egg to assist the community in finding it. Rocket Sloth made a great video on finding and activating this Easter egg. After initiating the egg, players must race to the finish line where the winner is gifted with a random power weapon. Halo 3 Zune.
Let's get it, chat.
This is a promotional Zune 30 device that is themed around Halo 3. It is preloaded with music, trailers, and artwork from the first 3 Halo games. For those of you who don't know, Zune was an MP3 player similar to the iPod. For those of you who don't know what an iPod is, first off, wow, you're a child. And second off, it's a dedicated MP3 player. In addition to all the extra content, the Halo 3 Zune came preloaded with a collection of Red vs. Blue episodes, along with an exclusive Red vs. Blue PSA minisode that appeared to be produced in an early build of Halo 3 prior to the game's release. You're actually watching it right now. Halo 3 ODST is an allegory of Dante's Inferno. Here's another entry I've added. This is a theory that suspects Halo 3 ODST to actually be a parallel to the story told in Dante's Inferno. The plot and story told in Halo 3 ODST closely mirrors the 9 Rings of Hell in Dante's Inferno. Audio logs exhibit characters who portray some of the 7 deadly sins, such as gluttony and greed. The ODSTs you play as are called Hell Jumpers after all, as they drop foot first into New Mombasa, a city caught up in an inferno and brimstone. Bungie even admitted that this is not just a theory but something they planned, and there are some really good videos on the topic as well. The Ultimate Halo Companion DVD set was a DVD set released in 2004. It contained gameplay, cutscenes, and tons of exhibitions from throughout the first 2 Halo games' development cycles. It is a turbo rare piece of Halo collector's merchandise. Well, actually, I found it on Amazon and doesn't seem that rare. Unless these are fake bootleg reproductions of the DVD set, which would make sense for these reasonably low prices. Now we move on to Level 5 Part 2. Cut Scarab from Halo 4. Halo 4 likely was planned to have a Scarab fight in Spartan Ops. This is strange as there already is a Covenant super vehicle players are meant to take down in the campaign, and that is the Lich, which is a sort of Covenant flying fortress. The Scarab itself is buried in the files, and it's up to speculation how this enemy super unit would have been implemented into Halo 4. Halo 4 Cut Dialogue. More cut content from Halo 4, which is perhaps the most dialogue-heavy game in the series. Well, at least as far as the Chief and Cortana are concerned.
Just how you like them. Big, ugly, and overflowing with machine guns and rocket launchers.
Therefore, it isn't surprising there is cut dialogue and voice lines from the campaign. But what is surprising is that there's enough to fill a 45-minute video. I should add that there are loads of cut dialogue from pretty much all of the Halo games, so in a way this entry could refer to the franchise as a whole. Pre-Xbox Halo. Earlier I explained that Halo was originally slated for release on the Macintosh computer, and that lots of content ended up being scrapped before the final release. Originally, Halo was planned to be a strategy game, similar to Bungie's previous game, Myth, before Halo was turned into a third-person shooter. Eventually, it was refitted into a first-person shooter for the Xbox. I wonder how Halo would have been if it was released as a strategy game way back when, instead of having a spin-off RTS series in the form of the Halo Wars games. Empty room on Sword Base. On the Halo Reach multiplayer map Sword Base, behind a door is a secret room that you can glitch the camera into. On the Halo Reach beta, on the same secret room, there is a 2D cutout of a piece of concept art of Dr. Halsey. Interestingly enough, this room ended up being used in the campaign mission that takes place on Sword Base, where Noble Team meets Halsey for the first time. This is wild. It's an Easter egg in a limited time beta that hints at the future purpose of the secret room when the campaign and full game releases. It's almost a bit like a spoiler from the devs, locked away outside the map. Other ghosts of Halo. Ah yes, back to the Halo hauntings. The Ghost of Lockout and slightly lesser known Ghost of Turf are among the most infamous Halo urban legends. These ghost-like entities puppeted Spartans and elites in multiplayer and attacked players in unexplainable ways, often lacking animations entirely. There are actually more of these Halo ghosts reported across the other Halo games. These include Halo 3's Ghosts of Sandtrap, Valhalla, and Blackout, and Halo Reach's Ghost of Forge World and The Package. These are just a few examples of some of the phantom entities that haunted fans in the Bungie era of Halo. Sangheili Point Defense Gauntlet. This entry is really cool. As seen in early builds of Halo Combat Evolved and the Halo CE First Look trailer at E3, elites had a point defense gauntlet, or a wrist-mounted energy shield similar to the ones Jackals use. We can see in the trailer a red elite gripping a sword in one hand and a shield in the opposite arm. And according to Halo Alpha, these shields ended up being replaced by the full-body personal energy shields, while the Point Defense Gauntlet was given to the Jackals instead. There are other events in Halo canon where elites have used point defense shields, such as when the Shipmaster utilized one in a duel within the first Halo graphic novel. Jonesy the Cat. This is a Halo Combat Evolved Easter egg where signs of a missing Calico Cat that only answers to Jonesy are posted on bulletin boards throughout the Pillar of Autumn. This Easter egg reappears in Halo 3, where more posters state, "Still missing my cat Jonesy," and finally, in Halo CE Anniversary, Jonesy is found. On several message boards on the Autumn, 10 years after CE released, an image of an opossum is pinned with the phrase, "Cat found," inscribed onto it. Jonesy is a reference to Jones, the ship cat aboard the Nostromo from the movie Alien. Canadian Coin on Snowbound. On the map Snowbound from Halo 3, within the active camo tunnel, a Canadian dollar coin is buried underneath the active camo that spawns on the map. This coin is also nicknamed a loonie due to the engraving of a great northern loon diving bird. In Canada, it is customary to bury a lucky loonie under the ice during National Canadian Ice Hockey and Curling Games. Missing Person Poster. In Halo 3's campaign, specifically on the missions The Storm and Floodgate, missing posters depicting images of Jason Jones, the co-founder of Bungie, can be found littering the battlefield. Explanations for the ghosts of Halo. Earlier, I detailed some of the more probable explanations for ghosts in Halo. However, amateur research on the topic has produced numerous conclusions. Since the original video of the ghost of Lockout went viral, sightings and claimed paranormal activity within the Halo games escalated fast. Hoaxes were generated, written claims and filmed evidence was released, and with that, the popularity of this urban legend grew far more unexplainable, especially as ghosts were seen on many multiplayer maps. Halo 3 clans have come forward with explanations. One clan admitted to have conducted research on the topic spurred by their own personal experiences with these ghosts. They stated that a modder they knew found code that generated these ghost-like players on each of the maps that were claimed to have been haunted. Bungie has confirmed at least one oversight in map development, where the Black Spartan on Halo Reach's Pillar of Autumn has been verified by Bungie to have been a mistake. Is it possible that the ghost entities that did not move or attack could be explained by code artifacts that were accidentally left over from map development? When it comes to the more dangerous and threatening ghosts, such as the ones that kill players, they're likely just hoaxes or scary stories, such as the ghost of Valhalla that apparently haunts the downed Pelican on the map with an energy sword. Perhaps the most probable explanation for the more frightening sightings, such as the one on Lockout, where a ghost player slides around the map killing players, is that extreme network errors or lag, combined with new players joining the game, causes a glitch where this new player becomes bugged out, contributing to their lack of appearance on the scoreboard, lack of name tag, and glitched out abilities. I've seen a video on YouTube where players artificially produced a ghost on Lockout by purposefully disrupting their network connections while inviting new players to the game. I have left out one possible explanation for some of these ghosts though. In these previous conclusions, we've assumed the hauntings to be fake, or not actually produced by paranormal activity. What if some of these stories were due to ghosts haunting the servers? We don't have an absolutely concrete, thorough investigation delving into this issue anyway. So while I assume the ghosts of Halo are merely glitches, it is unknown for certain what causes all of these sightings, especially the ones that some claim occur on offline matches where the ghosts aren't merely a player model, but they move and attack as well. If we assume these players are telling the truth, this is when the explained becomes unexplainable. Dominion, Halo 4. This is perhaps my favorite mode from Halo 4. Dominion is a big team battle mode that only appeared in Halo 4 before it was never seen again. The objective of Dominion is to capture and hold bases for points. From there, bases can be upgraded or fortified, which generates shield walls, turrets, and vehicle spawns at each base. Dominion usually resulted in intense, desperate battles over bases across the map. Beta designs refers to the difference of designs between the betas and full releases of Halo games. The Flood Forum, #OffTopic. The Flood Forum is an off-topic forum that used to be part of Bungie.net. Halo fans circulated memes and shitposts starting in 2004 on that off-topic community. Perhaps some of the most ancient memes originated or were spread here, including rage faces and all sorts of stale garbage. Sadly, the Flood Forum went offline as Bungie would no longer be working on Halo, and therefore no longer needed the forum. Also, on the Bungiepedia, a history of notable events of the Flood Forum have been documented and maintained. Energy Sword Sunday. Continuing on the theme of Halo memes, Energy Sword Sunday is a meme that started in 2017 and grew in popularity through 2018. It started on Twitter, when user Cyberbully20XX posted an energy sword wielding Gumby with the titular hashtag. Anime referencing Halo 3. In 2008, Season 1, Episode 4 of the anime To Love Ru featured a very extensive reference to Halo 3. Perhaps the animators were fans. Here's perhaps the only clip of it on YouTube.
俺にはデビルク製の領土拡張生還戦争も領土防衛生還戦争も無理なんだ。だから俺は嫌ならやらなきゃいいんだよ。うち将軍も提督もたくさんいるから。じゃあこういうのやこういうのは？パパだって最近は自分じゃやらないよ。ザスティンの野郎脅かしやがって。
Halo Nvidia commercial. With the release of Halo on the way, Nvidia and Bungie partnered in this 2000 advertisement for the new GeForce 2 GTS graphics card.
We evacuated to the surface of Halo. I was worried we'd left all our best hardware behind. No, I'm not talking about military hardware like jeeps, tanks, or dropships. I'm talking about graphics hardware. Now that we're waging an epic guerrilla war against the Covenant Horde, I'm sure glad I'm packing an NVIDIA GeForce 2 GTS.
Halo 2 Conversations from the Universe. This game manual shipped with the Halo 2 Limited Collector's Edition. It details background lore for the Halo series, including the first mention of the Sharkoi, which is the alien species we covered earlier, the first mention of the mysterious Meddlers species, and displayed some early usage of Covenant proper names. Cancelled Halo Mega Bloks game. Hagar is a codename for the cancelled Halo Mega Bloks game that was canned in 2013. This game seems to be reminiscent of the LEGO Star Wars games, but more focused on third-person shooter gameplay along with construction elements. The Mega Bloks company has since been renamed to Mega Construx. And when you get to thinking about it, this is a pretty strange project, as this just seems to be a Halo game marketed towards kids, for a toy line of a mostly mature-rated franchise at the time. I'm not surprised it was cancelled, but it would have been cool to see it released. It seems a lot of the placeholders' sounds and music are from the first Halo games. Dual-wield swords. The iceberg links to this video here. Dual-wielding energy swords is something fans have been wanting to do since the weapon's inception, especially as dual-wielding pistol-sized weapons was added to Halo 2. There's also the existence of an unfinished cutscene from Halo 3, where an untextured Arbiter uses two energy swords at once. Sadly, we never got dual-wieldable swords in vanilla Halo, but that didn't stop people from making numerous hoaxes and videos about it. Halo 1 pistol on Tombstone. On the Halo 2 multiplayer map Tombstone, you can find a Halo CE Magnum behind a fence among some UNSC crates. It's cool to see both the Halo CE and Halo 2 pistols appear in one game, and is possibly a cool reference to the different model of pistol in Halo 2, as the Magnum wasn't gone, it was just simply in storage. The Dervish. The Arbiter was originally supposed to be called the Dervish, but the name was changed because Bungie was attempting to avoid getting Halo confused as an allegory to the conflicts in the Middle East. Dervishes are members of Muslim faith who take vows of poverty for their faith, and replacing the name Dervish for Arbiter was a far more appropriate choice. Christian allegory. We've already seen the religious overtones and references from the Halo series, and so has this user from a Bungie.net forum post, except they fleshed it out further and made several theories. One of the slogans for Halo 3 is Believe, and the theory lists the Bible verse John 1:17, referencing Chief's name and Spartan ID to be referring to a greater meaning to the character. This rabbit hole gets crazy, and I highly recommend you look these theories up if you want to know more. Halo was a massively popular franchise, and at this point has been drawn to the allegories for the Iraq War, Christianity, and religion alongside Dante's Inferno. And there's no surprise why. Cortana on High Ground. On the map High Ground in Halo 3, if you watch the laptop screen in the damaged bunker near the missile turret, an image of Cortana will flash on the TV screen once per 2 minutes.
He's John 117.
Person on standoff. Along with the Man on the Moon Easter egg on this Halo 3 map, there's a 2D cutout of Travis Brady, a Bungie 3D artist, in the background nearby the radar dishes. Halo CE demo, Xbox. Much like many past games, Halo Combat Evolved got a demo for PC. Lesser known, and far rarer, is the Xbox Halo CE demo. While both these demos are very rare, the PC one occasionally has the multiplayer map Blood Gulch with online support, and both the Xbox demo and the PC demo has only the campaign mission, The Silent Cartographer. These Xbox demos were shipped on the Xbox Exhibition demo disc and on one of the Xbox Magazine game discs. This demo was likely the first introduction for many fans to the game, and the famous Johnson Halo ad came with the PC demo. These demos are obscure pieces of history. Jake Courage was a war photographer working within the UNSC. He took many photos that ended up being used in the Believe marketing campaign for Halo 3, which is why he and many of his photos are only portrayed in scale model dioramas. He famously captured photos of the Master Chief before the photographer was killed by a grenade in New Mombasa in 2552. Removed ambient life. There are dozens of fantasy creatures and life that have been removed throughout the Halo games during development. More examples will be seen later throughout the iceberg. Halo Reach's Moa are based off of an actual extinct animal. The flightless birds from Halo Reach closely resemble large flightless birds that have since gone extinct in New Zealand. The last reported sighting of a real-life Moa is claimed to have occurred in 1887 in the New Zealand bush, but it is unknown when the last human contact with these birds occurred. Sandtrap, Cypher, and Mystery. The Halo 3 map Sandtrap has spawned several rumors, theories, and Easter eggs. The Ghost of Sandtrap, Da Vinci Code, and now the Cypher of Sandtrap. There are glyphs on brass-colored Forerunner structures that many have attempted to decipher to potentially garner a greater meaning or solution to a mystery that may or may not exist. These same glyphs appear in other multiplayer maps throughout the game as well, and some have linked the mystery of a possible being buried underneath Sandtrap to these glyphs. Nothing has been deciphered since, and Rocket Sloth has published a great video investigating the topic. Ultra Elite Combat Forms. This is specific and really obscure. Apparently in one of the Flood missions of Halo 3, you can push elite Ultra bodies into a hole where they get infected by the Flood. This is apparently the only appearance of Ultra Elite Combat Forms in Halo 3. Iris ARG. The Iris alternate reality game was a Halo 3 marketing campaign that consisted of 5 episodes that allowed fans to participate and interact with elements across different pieces of media. It started when the Forerunner AI, Adjutant Reflex, posted on the forums within Bungie.net and ended with the release of Halo 3. Players were sent to webcomics, job posting boards, and more that tied into a scavenger hunt that told the story of Halo before humanity. Hold X to board Hunter. This is a reference to a cut Halo Reach feature where you could board the back of a hunter as if it were a vehicle. Players could melee it, or plant a grenade within its back for an insta-kill. I don't blame them for cutting this feature. It seems pretty overpowered and renders hunters helpless. Interestingly enough, this feature has been re-added to a few of the Halo games if you activate the Bandana Skull in the Master Chief Collection. Halo 3 ODST sold early in France. Whoops. Looks like some Halo fans got Halo 3 ODST early in France, as some retailers accidentally sold it a whole month ahead of the release date. After checking some old message boards and YouTube videos, this seems to have angered or shocked quite a few fans back then. Sangheili Tongues. Yes, in an early build for Halo 4, elites had tongues. In-universe locations of the multiplayer maps. While some of the maps in Halo have a definitive location documented in lore, many are mysteriously who knows where, especially in Halo CE, where many maps are eerily within desolate, ancient facilities or environments in the middle of nowhere. The exact location and lore of some of these locations remain a mystery. Halo 2 Smoke and Mirrors Scandal. In the 2003 Halo 2 E3 demo we saw earlier, the whole map and mission was scrapped before the final game released, if you recall. The graphics engine used in the demo was totally scrapped, as it wasn't possible to ship the game with it at the time. This is reflective of the infamous troubled development cycle behind Halo 2, and ironically enough, Johnson admits at the beginning of the trailer that this wasn't any smoke and mirrors, but was actual gameplay. This Mombasa city map has never returned since. Hidden spheres outside of Lone Wolf. This is simply 2 spheres that are outside of the map on Lone Wolf that serve as lighting and reflection test objects. I guess Bungie forgot to remove them. Thanks to General Heat again for showing these off. Halo's universe is in an infinite loop. This is an insane theory that many have possibly stumbled upon or wondered themselves. Hidden Xperia has a great video on this topic. Simply wonder this with me for a second. If the Halo rings eliminated all sentient life as a response to the Flood, and the galaxy got set back to the Stone Age, What's to stop the rings from being used again, starting everything back to zero again? Perhaps defeating the Flood is impossible, or always results in a grand reset of the Milky Way galaxy. This is one fascinating Halo thought experiment. Halo PC idle ghost players. This is a strange Halo PC bug where occasionally players will spawn in without the ability to move, have invincibility, but actually show up on the scoreboard, very different than the previously mentioned ghosts. This is more so just a strange bug. 777LL7L. At the end of Halo 3 ODST, within the end credits, text will appear in the bottom left of the screen. Sometimes, it reads 777LL7L, which isn't surprising considering Bungie's fondness for the number of perfection. According to Halo Alpha, the call number of a book, the ancient parish of Prestbury, is that string of 7s and L's. On pages 21 and 22, the book divulges on the archaeological discovery of a collection of cairns, or ancient mounds, in a circular ring-shaped arrangement underground. Sound familiar? Additionally, the term divided highway will appear during the credits as well, which is interesting because the cairns that were discovered near Prestbury were dug up for the creation of a highway. This book, articling this information, was published in 1876. Oh no, where do we go? This cult classic Halo 3 rap cover was, according to the creator, posted in 2007 at the height of Halo 3. The current channel and creator that hosts this video claimed it had over 8 million views on Machinima and landed him a job at machinima.com as a director. All of this is backed up by hundreds of comments collectively reminiscing hearing this song 10 years ago.
Message all your friends. Choose Lone Wolf and let the game begin. You need a warm-up because you're rusty and you don't want to play me like that, man. Trust me. But if you insist, then I'll oblige. Throw down the flare and block out your eyes. You grab the brute shot because you're a dope, then you rush me and get no-scoped.
Put this in a museum. It deserves to be preserved with the other artifacts. Jiraul means a lump of wood in Sangheili and is used as a derogatory insult towards brutes, monkey nuts, or blam. The codename for Halo Combat Evolved before its release was Blam, which replaced the previous codename Monkey Nuts. Yeah, I'm not making this up. Bungie was simply built different back in the day.
Yeah.
Since then, across the Bungie games and Halo 4, naming custom user content such as screenshots and maps with inappropriate language would automatically result in these files receiving the name Blam as a form of censorship. This automatic censor method was used on Bungie.net's forums as well to censor swear words. Fake Halo 5 leaked script. In 343's Halo 5 behind-the-scenes teaser, The Sprint, Season 3, for just a brief moment at the 17-second mark, you can catch a glimpse of a page of the Halo 5 campaign script. But it isn't the actual script, as this teaser would spoil Halo 5 if it were. It seems to have been faked, or planted to mislead fans from knowing the actual plot of Halo 5. I put the full text on screen if you'd like to read it, and it appears to be the hypothetical false ending for Halo 5. Spartan Locke investigates the wreckage of a destroyed UNSC Infinity, where he sees the Master Chief, helmet caved in and armor pieces chipped off, dead in the snow. Locke attempts to raise the Chief to his feet, finding his chest armor ripped open by the Warden Eternal's attacks. The script ends with Locke calling over the radio to Fireteam Osiris, saying, "He's dead." The Warden. Some of the comments of a forum post on Reset Era believe the script isn't fake, but possibly a cut version of the Halo 5 story, being as the plot had been rewritten several times. Could this have been one of the original planned endings? Was this a plan from 343 to cut off the story about the Chief and tell their own stories focusing on Spartan Locke or some other characters? Who knows? It's looking rough out here. I was wondering when our old friend Backwash would make a return. On the eerie Halo 2 swamp map, Backwash, outside of the map, you can find a large message written in blood. It says, "It's looking a little rough out here." Durance. A Durance is a Forerunner memory storage device that holds the memories of a Forerunner after their death. Last thoughts would be stored in the Durance, and they would be interned in a sort of funeral grave or monument. In Halo 4, the memory of the Librarian spoke to the Chief from her Durance. Interesting that bodies aren't the only thing memorialized, but also memories of those who passed on in Forerunner society. Catalog. The catalog is a sort of collective supercomputer from the Forerunner Society. It documented criminal activity as well as data within something known as the Juridical Network, which is a sort of empire-wide communication network. This is a bizarre part of the lore, as those who volunteer to be part of Catalog are once criminals themselves, offering up their existence to be part of a whole. Catalog is like a single being that spans the Forerunner Empire, or Ecumene. Whenever Forerunners gave themselves up to the Catalog, they essentially entered a coffin and withered away, while their mind continued to work from within the Advanced Internment Unit. Additionally, they have some sort of power, almost like a government entity. Catalog and the human timeline denied both 343 Guilty Spark and the Didact from control of various Forerunner artifacts and technology, so they are still awake and functioning to this day. Moving on to Level 5 Part 3. Is God real in Halo lore? This is a question posed by Halo Follower in one of his videos where he postulates on religion and its connection to Halo once again. With the precursors, it may seem that God wouldn't be real in the Halo lore, but the canon never debunks religion, so checkmate atheists. No, but really, it's a video game, and typically games don't admit whether a certain religion exists or not. And it's a series about aliens and humans blowing each other up over ancient alien worship on giant metal rings. So this question will likely never be answered, as it's just a sci-fi FPS shooter with an extensive background universe with several pieces of religious symbolism. Cortana's rampancy was inspired by dementia. During the production of Halo 4, creative director at 343, Josh Holmes, admitted that his mother was diagnosed with dementia during development, and that his real struggles inspired the characterization of Cortana's descent into rampancy as Chief does all he can to stop the inevitable loss of his companion. This is raw and very saddening. Dementia is not a joke in the slightest. It's a horrible disease for those afflicted, as well as their families.
Dementia is horrible.
343 hired people that hated Halo. Frank O'Connor of 343 Industries has explained that the company hired developers and workers who hated Halo. He explained that he was hoping that they'd bring some new input into the development of Halo, and described it as a huge advantage, as it would produce a team of people passionate about producing a new product. Despite these sentiments, it's easy to see how backwards this logic is, and led to Halo 4, which is one of the most controversial and universally panned games in the series. Though, I must say, the big team battle mode of Halo 4 is insanely fun. Master Chief statue on Lone Wolf. On the Halo Reach mission Lone Wolf...
Alright, we'll finish that video.
Baltimore eats up a huge chunk of yardage there to put them in nice field position.
How many catches is that for me? I can't keep track. Anybody know?
First down for the offense. Ball at the 31.
Come on, I'll be damned if I'm gonna watch them celebrate.
Throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Baltimore. Extra point is good. Has to be thinking about more big plays like that after the big game. Offense looking to score here as they operate in the red zone. ties it up.
I gotta call my therapy place real quick. Hold up. What's going on?
And so at the end of 1 quarter of play, we're all tied up.
Wait, why? Just
That's an
happened.
incomplete
So
pass.
confused.
Interception. They seem really rattled on that one. And that's where the 9th man comes into play. It's called the home field advantage.
Hope you got some help, baby.
What happened there? I'm so confused. What's going on? What just happened? Why did my stream just shut off?